How are you guys doing? It is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through the elite performances and matchups from yesterday, Monday, October 26th. And of course, I'll let you know what to look forward to today. But just to get into it really quickly, starting off with Monday Night Football last night, the Los Angeles Rams were able to beat the Chicago Bears 24-10 in a game that the Rams basically dominated the entire game. It was 24-3 going into the fourth quarter. Just not a very competitive game on the side of the Chicago Bears. And their only touchdown coming off of a fumble return from Eddie Jackson, so their offense wasn't getting a lot going. Their quarterback, Nick Foles, he would complete 28 of his 40 passes, throwing for 261 yards and two picks. On the ground for the Bears, David Montgomery would finish with 48 yards on 14 carries, and through the air, Allen Robinson was their leading receiver. He had 70 yards on 4 receptions on the day, on 4 targets. On the defensive side of the ball, Eddie Jackson, in addition with his fumble recovery, he would have 9 tackles on the day, leading the team. And then just continuing on, Khalil Mack, their elite outside linebacker, defensive end, because he plays both. He finished with 4 tackles on the day and a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Mario Edwards had 2 tackles for losses. He had those were 2 of his 3 tackles on the day. And looking at how the Los Angeles Rams played, their quarterback Jared Goff would complete 23 of his 33 passes for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a run. He also had 1 running yard on 4 carries, so he had 220 yards total and 2 touchdowns. Darrell Henderson Jr. would lead the Rams with 64 yards on 15 carries, and Malcolm Brown would have 57 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Through the air, Josh Reynolds was their leading receiver. He had 52 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown. Gerald Everett was also able to score for the Rams. He had 28 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Micah Kiser would lead the team with 8 total tackles on the day. Leonard Floyd would have 6 tackles, who was drafted by the Bears. He finished with 2 sacks against his former team. And then their goated defensive tackle, Aaron Donald, would finish with 3 tackles on the day, and he had half of a sack on the day as he shared it with Greg Gaines. And they had 4 total sacks as a team, and Jalen Ramsey and Taylor Rapp would come up with the interceptions for the Los Angeles Rams, Jalen Ramsey being their elite corner. And with this win, the Los Angeles Rams are now 5-2 on the season, as the Chicago Bears dropped to 5-2 with this loss. And finishing week 7 out, just taking you through the standings really quickly, just to show you what it's looking like. Starting in the NFC, starting in the worst division, the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles lead that division with a 2-4-1 record after their tie at against the Bengals. In second, you have the Washington Football Team and the Dallas Cowboys, who are both 2-5 on the season, and the New York Giants are sitting in last place in that division with a 1-6 record. In the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers have the best record, sitting at 5-1. The Chicago Bears are second in the NFC North with a 5-2 record. The Detroit Lions are sitting in third with a 3-3 record, and the Minnesota Vikings are last in that division with a 1-5 record. In the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady, have the best record in the division. The New Orleans Saints are second with a 4-2 record. The Carolina Panthers are third with a 3-4 record, and the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at the bottom with a 1-6 record. Jumping out to the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks have the best record in that division, with sitting at 5-1. The Arizona Cardinals are 5-2. They're second, tied with the Los Angeles Rams, who are third now. And then the San Francisco 49ers are sitting last in the NFC West, fourth in the division with a 4-3 record. Continuing on, just before I go into the AFC, the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks are tied for the best record. They're both sitting at 5-1 through 7 weeks on the season. And then in the AFC, starting off in the East, the Buffalo Bills have the best record in the AFC East with a 5-2 record. The Miami Dolphins are second in the league with a 3-3 record. The New England Patriots sitting in third in the AFC East, sitting at 2-4, and the New York Jets, with the worst record in the entire NFL, are sitting with an 0-7 record. In the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team that is still undefeated on the season. They're 6-0. The Baltimore Ravens are second in the AFC North with a 5-1 record. The Cleveland Browns are third with a 5-2 record. And the Cincinnati Bengals are fourth with a 5-1 record, as they and the Eagles are the only 2 teams with a tie thus far in the season. In the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans are 5-1, sitting at the top. The Indianapolis Colts are second, sitting at 4-2. And the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars tied for the bottom of the AFC South. It looks like the Texans are third as of right now with a 1-6 record, and the Jaguars are fourth with a 1-6 record. And last but not least, jumping out to the AFC West, the defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, are leading the West with a 6-1 record. The Las Vegas Raiders are coming in second with a 3-3 record. The Chargers are third, sitting at 2-4, and the Denver Broncos are fourth, also sitting at 2-4 on the season. They're 0-3 at home. So that is what the standings are currently looking like in the NFL. And then following week 9, I'm going to get into just who's leading the league on what particular stats, because that's how I'm going to get into it. But with that said, leading into tonight's World Series game, it'll be game 6 of the World Series between the top seed in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the top seed in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays. In this game, Blake Snell, former AL Cy Young winner from, I think, 2018, is going to take the mound against Tony Gonsolin of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big game between the two is, of course, the Rays are looking to even it, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are looking to clinch the playoffs. And very well, the MLB season could very well end tonight, and I think it's been an amazing ride up until now. And then also looking out into soccer, it'll be week 2 of Champions League play today, starting off with the 155 games. Lokomotiv Moscow is going to take on Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich won Champions League like 2 months, if not last month, 2 months ago, and they're still looking stronger than ever. And also Shakhtar Donetsk, who ended up beating Real Madrid. They're going to take on Internacional as well. That's going to be a very big game as they take on Romelu Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez, and I would argue Serie A's their second most their second most powerful, their most dominant team thus far. I'd say the second best team in Italy right now. Looking at the 4 o'clock games, Atalanta takes on Ajax Amsterdam, and both teams are playing incredibly well. Atletico Madrid's going to take on FC Salzburg after getting blanked by Bayern Munich last week. Real Madrid's going to take on Borussia Mönchengladbach to try to see if they can get some more points in their group stage. FC Porto is going to take on Olympiacos, in which I still think is going to be a very good game. Liverpool's going to take on FC Midtjylland, who ended up getting wrecked the last game they played. And then Marseille is going to take on Manchester City at 4 o'clock. And then those are the big games from soccer. And looking at it all, it's going to be a very big and a very sports-filled Tuesday. But with that said, I want to appreciate you. Once again, it is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. Thank you once again for listening to the 7-8 minute piece. I wish all is well, and peace out. And baseball could end today. And if it does end today, this season has been an amazing ride. And thanks once again for hearing me out since Friday, July 24th, 2020. And once again, with that said, peace.